Hello and welcome to Planning My Escape. In this edition of Hidden History, we're going to explore the Philosopher's Walk, which is a small little urban refuge on the University of Toronto campus. The Philosopher's Walk follows the course of the Taddle Creek along a ravine that was formed at the same time as the Garrison Creek at the end of the last ice age. As I probably said before, what you have to realize is Toronto is covered with these ravines, and they made up a really integral part of the geography until much of it was forced underground, flattened, covered, and disappeared, except when you know where to look. And actually, the Philosopher's Walk is a good place to show you where to look. So we're going to do that today. Taddle Creek was once a welcome addition to every area that it used to run through as it snaked its way across much of what is now downtown Toronto. But over time it, like the Garrison Creek to the west, was degraded, became polluted, and an increasingly costly hindrance to development. So it too was consigned to run its course underground, ignobly driven into a sewer line except for a single pond well to the north of Toronto's Old Town. Known by many different names during its history, the Taddle, Goodwin, Little Don River, the University as it ran along the easterly borders of U of T, the Woltz Creek, and finally the Brewery Creek, named for good old Enoch Turner, you've got to love those Puritan names, who once ran a brewery near the mouth of the river, close to where Parliament Street is now. Philosopher's Walk follows the creek's path from the Alexandra Gates on Bloor, a kindred casualty of Toronto's seemingly endless eagerness to erase and change its past, for about half a mile south, where it ends at the Bennett Gates on Hogkin Avenue, where I did my introduction. The gates were erected in 1901, and like so much in Toronto, think of the Royal Ontario Museum on our left, or the Royal Conservatory of Music to the right of our path, to celebrate the royals. In this case, the visit by Crown Prince George, think George V, and Mary, think Queen Mary of the ocean liner fame, in October of that year. To involve as many royalty as possible, the gates were named for his mother, Queen Alexandra, consort to the current King Emperor Edward VII, firstborn of Victoria, lest we forget, who was Empress of India. Originally located at the entrance of Queen's Park, what was I just saying? Then mostly undeveloped land between the town and the village of Yorkdale, the gates were moved several times over the years as the street was widened and widened again, until finally they were saved from the scrapyard and moved to their present location. Continuing south, the path meanders along the creek's course until it reaches the Bennett Gates, erected in 2006 in honor of Avie Bennett, owner of McClellan and Stewart, one of Canada's largest and most influential publishers, and a major benefactor of the university. From there, it continued south until it reached McCall's Pond, named after John McCall, U of T's first president. created by the damming of the creek near what is now Wellesley Street. Ironically, the history of the creek could have been different. Some advocated creating an enchanting park running alongside the campus instead. But the creek was dammed, the pond was created, and had the unintended effect of slowing the stream's flow, which led to increased pollution and the attendant cries for something to be done about the smell and all that refuse. As stated in the Varsity U of T's student newspaper that's still published to this day, the stench arising from the Taddle is very pronounced. The prevalence of so much fever in the city is surely a good reason for the prompt abatement of this long-standing nuisance. Since such pronouncements had already seen sections of the creek disappear on both ends of the campus by this time, there was little protest when the remainder was buried as well in 1884. All that remains now is the walk, and a few traces that can be seen if you know where to look. You can see the runoff. So whenever there's a serious rain, they're obviously concerned with some flooding. And you can see why in terms of this little hollow. And this is the last little bit. I mean, I don't doubt any of the trees or anything are extant from olden times. But from a geographical point of view, you can really see the ravine form. I hope you enjoyed this short episode of Hidden History, and will join me as I continue to explore traces of the past lost in the sea of modernity. Take care until next time. Goodbye.